Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 5 of the Posh Push, here with Peterborough in the Sky Bet League 1. Hopefully you guys are good. Last episode was, I'm now trying to wrap my brain back, it was a little while ago in game time. Last episode was the Colchester game, which was an epic 4-4 tale. If you missed that, go check it out, although I've now just told you the score. Go check it out anyway, I insist. But yeah, today guys, we are going to be doing the Notts County game that I promised last episode. In the meantime, there has been plenty of games played, so we're going to review these real quick. I'm not going to go into too much detail as I normally would because there are a lot, but so far so good this season. We find ourselves top coming into this game against Notts County. There's a 4-point cushion between ourselves and MK Dons in third. And all in all, things are going pretty well. You may have noticed on the fixture chart, we've had a little bit of patchy form of late. 2 unfortunate defeats, both in the league. So that was a little bit kind of disheartening, I guess. But I'm hoping that we can bounce back today with a win against Notts County, who of course are kind of, our rivals at the moment to finish top of the table, who themselves in their last 2 games haven't done great. A draw and a defeat for them. But anyway, we'll cover the squad first real quick. We'll do it in unconventional order. Last 5 games, players have been playing really well. You can see the average ratings here. They are pretty impressive by and large. Mendes Laying has been the kind of standout performer, I guess. This guy, a player who was already at the club when I came. He was a player who I hadn't necessarily dismissed, but I only ever thought he was going to be a fringe option player. He's played pretty well this season, and I kept giving him more and more chances, and he's kept repaying the kind of faith that I've given him. 9 assists in 14 games from out on the wing. It's not too shabby. Can I just give you a heads up? If you can hear seagulls outside, it's really hot today as I record this, and I live by the sea at the moment, although I am moving house. So if the weekend of, I'm telling you this now, this is very well organised, the weekend of the 19th and 20th of July, if the uploads are a little bit patchy, it's because I'm moving house, just a heads up. But anyway, that's totally irrelevant, Jack. Let's get back into the other stuff. Other top performers in their last 5. Will Keane, the striker, you guys know about this guy. He's been banging in goals during the live comms for us. 9 goals in 9 appearances for us. He did have an injury for a few weeks. He twisted his ankle, which meant he was out for 4 weeks. So that was a little bit unfortunate for him, but he is coming back to full fitness now. Condition is still not 100%, but he's almost there. Nathan D'Alfonso as well, another player who's given some good performances. Of course, we signed him on a free transfer. You'll also notice that he's now competent at playing on the left wing, which is pretty useful because that's where I kind of signed him to play. As you can see, in 16 games, he's not scored a load or got a load of assists in the league, but he's been a solid performer in the cup for us. And all in all, he's put in some good performances without necessarily being involved in the goals. Freire again, another player who's had some good performances, a 7.46 average rating for the Argentine. He's back from his kind of trip home for getting homesick. He's done quite well so far. 8 appearances, a 7.0 rating in the league. Not too bad for a first season in England, considering he's struggled to adapt. And also in the Cup, he's had 3 appearances, scored a goal, got an assist to his name, and a 7.6 average rating. One more player we'll just cover real quick. Jacob Mellis, you guys know this guy. This guy has been the main man of this team. He has been the revelation. He's been the workhorse in the middle who has single-handedly been winning us games. You can see here, joined us on a free transfer, having been released from Chelsea. In 20 games, he has 7 goals and 8 assists, and a 7.38 average rating from the centre of midfield. Really cannot argue with that. He's been superb in the Cup as well. 4 goals and 3 assists in 7 games. He's been the workhorse in the middle for us. So anyway, let's have a look at the fixtures real quick. As I mentioned, I'm not going to cover these in too much detail, but we'll take a look through. You can see here we took a 1-0 win against Gillingham immediately after the slip-up against Colchester. I talked a bit about how last episode I was pretty disappointed to lose points there. Fortunately, this game we kind of put the record straight, I guess, and showed that it was only a blip. On the back of this, we had a game against MK Dons. MK Dons are the team in third in the league who find themselves 4 points behind ourselves and Notts County. We could only muster a 2-2 draw at home. All in all, this was a pretty close game. They took the lead in this one, and they created more chances. We were just very clinical when things came our way. All in all, though, it wasn't as if one team really dominated this game throughout. It was a game where I wasn't too disappointed with the draw, and it could have been a lot worse, I guess. But anyway, as I mentioned, we conceded early on. We immediately fought back in the 24th minute. Again, Mendes Laying, who I talked about his assists being key, and Jacob Mellis kind of linking up in the middle. That was a really good goal. That was kind of two of the players who have really been putting in the assists this season, linking up, which was good to see. Jacob Mellis playing that advanced playmaker, attacking option has been superb for us this year. He's been a creative outlet in the team. Anyway, I say he's been a creative outlet as he gets an assist for a known goal. That was McFadzine scoring an own goal. Unfortunately for us, however, we conceded a penalty not long after the own goal. Enco Dons drew it level. There was no more chances in this game. It was pretty disappointing all in all. But a point wasn't necessarily the worst result in the world. Anyway, on the back of this, we beat Chesterfield 4-1. Will Keane getting a hat-trick this game, his first hat-trick at the club. He's grabbed a few braces in his time. He got a 9.6 average rating in this game. So that was pretty decent. We then beat Wycombe Wanderers 2-1 in the FA Cup first round. A good result here. An own goal was the kind of difference between the two teams. Wycombe, a League 2 team, really put up some stiff opposition. It wasn't as easy as you might have expected, so fair play to them. We then beat Bristol City in the Johnson Paint Trophy quarter-final. This was a good result. Delfonso grabbing 2 goals here. It was a game that Bristol City by and large dominated. They had a lot more chances, but we took the chances that came our way. And 2-0 here saw us go to the Johnson's Paint Trophy semi-final, which we'll come on to shortly. But anyway, after this, a 5-2 win against Oldham was another good goal-scoring performance. And again, Nathan Delfonso grabbing 2. There was a few games in this period where he just started banging in the goals for us, which was great to see. This was a game that, despite the kind of close, well, not close scoreline, but despite it being 5-2, it never really was close. We were actually 4-0 up, I do believe, at one point by just half time. So it was a little bit disappointing to let it slip in the second half, but it was still 5-2 at the end of the day. We then beat Swindon 4-1. Jacob Mellis, Assombalonga and Mendes Lane getting on the score sheet. Assombalonga has been playing really well for us. He did have a little bit of an injury which saw him miss out a few games. He twisted his ankle, which meant he was out for 4 weeks, which is why he didn't create that kind of feature in these games and why players like Delfonso were looked upon to kind of perform. But he's done well since he's come back into the team, grabbing a goal there. You may notice, actually, looking at these, there were very few clean sheets. I bigged up at one point how many clean sheets we're having in a row prior to the Colchester game. Since then, we've had 3 clean sheets in a lot of games. I'm saying a lot because I can't count. 12 games, 3 clean sheets. It's a little bit disappointing. Anyway, next game was against Bradford. This was a good win for us. Again, a very tight game, but we took the chance that came our way. Assombalonga, still on his road to recovery from injury, grabbing a goal for us there. And then we played Exeter in back-to-back cup games, the League 2 side. Kind of bizarrely, I guess, we played them in the FA Cup second round and then the Johnson's Paint Trophy. In the FA Cup, you can see here, we got a 3-1 win. It was a good performance. They are a League 2 team, so I expected us to win, and we did just that. Assombalonga getting the man of the match performance. And then in the last game of kind of our ties with Exeter, we won 5-1, and really, really good performance this one. Good team performance. In terms of the chances we created probably fewer and defended not quite as well as we did in the previous game. However, what we did do well was just kind of dictate the play and take the chances that came our way. Jacob Mellis getting the Man of the Match award there. Anyway, there were 2 more league games after that before this Notts County game, both of which resulted in defeats. First one was a 2-1 defeat away against Sheffield United. I wasn't too disappointed with this in terms of if you'd offered me and said, Jack, you're going to lose 2-1 to Sheffield United, I might not have felt too bad. However, given that the actual performance, how Sheffield United played, how well we played away from home, it was pretty tough to take this one. I'll show you the highlights. But as you can see, Sheffield United running out 2-1 winners in a game where they had 4 shots on target. We didn't have more shots on target, but we just had more shots, and we just didn't take anything that came our way. It was frustrating to say the least. But anyway, they did open up the scoring here. This was a quite well-worked goal by them, if I remember correctly. They kind of pulled us out of position and exploited the space on our right centre-back. If I remember correctly, we did. McNulty there with a great little finish for them. That made it 1-0 to them. And I believe, if I remember correctly, they doubled their lead here, which is kind of disappointing because if you're always playing catch-up in a game, obviously there's always an impetus on you to go and attack, and I'm always a little bit weary of when I go on the attack, giving away silly goals, as we saw with the Colchester game where last episode, where I kind of had to take the risk at 4-2 to really go to try and get 2 goals and get ourselves a point. But anyway, those were 2 goals that just came from a little bit of lack of defensive discipline. Fortunately, in the second half we did score. However, rather unfortunately, I guess it just wasn't enough. That was Taylor with a really nicely worked goal there. Nice to see the wide men in our formation kind of drift inside and offer themselves up as options when the play's on the opposite side of the pitch. Anyway, last game of this run of fixtures, and I believe this was one of only a few games. In fact, it was the only game during this period where we didn't score. It was a 1-0 defeat to Fleetwood. Again, a bit of a smash and grab, a game that I will feel slightly hard done by, given how well we played, but they did get the goal that mattered. You can see we were down to 10 men because Keane was off the pitch, and the kind of build-up play does come from an area in the pitch where Will Keane would be expected to be, but again, the right centre-back position just being kind of exploited, I guess, just a little bit of a lack of positioning from Zakuani, but you know what? I'm going to let him off. He's been superb for us, the centre-back this year, and hopefully he can set the record straight. But anyway, we'll go into today's game. We are playing against Notts County. This is a huge game. You can see we actually have the best goal difference in the league. This is one thing that I'm really pleased to see, is the fact that you can see we've scored the most goals, or joint scored the most goals with Bristol City. We also have the best defence, having only conceded 18 in 18 in 21 games, which is really good. In terms of the actual team stats, I'll just show you some stuff here. So goals, as I mentioned, we have the best goal scoring and defensive records kind of combined. We are on the losing in a row charts, which is a little bit disappointing. In terms of average attendance, if I can click the right option, there we go. We are 6th highest in the league with an average attendance of 7,600. That's pretty decent. Our ground holds a little bit more than that, at 11,000, so we've got a little bit of room to grow into. But that is still not bad by any means. In terms of the actual percentage, you can see it's one of the highest in the league, only Coventry having a better attendance by capacity percentage. And then stadium sellouts, we actually had a sellout, so there's that to look forward to. So anyway, let's get into today's game. We are playing Notts County, as I mentioned before. There is no real team news to tell you about. The only players who are missing are Delfonso, who got a bruised rib and is currently recovering from that, so I'm going to probably just sit him out. And Kane Ferdinand, who's a good young prospect playing in the Ireland under-21s team, who unfortunately has got a slightly long-term injury, having twisted his ankle, so he was out for 4 weeks with that, only 2 weeks left of his recovery now. So in terms of how we're going to set up for today's game, I think I'm going to play a team that's pretty in form. You can see by the average ratings here that our team, by and large, is doing very well. I'm going to stick with Briggs, actually. I was tempted to bring in Kegossi. I still can't say his name. People told me in the first episode how to say his name. I've been avoiding him every episode. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kegossi. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's get into today's game. I'm going to stick with this team. Will Keane coming back from full fitness means I'm going to drop him, but Mellis has done a good job from attacking midfield. Friere, of course, and Mendes Lane have both played pretty well as well recently. So hopefully we can put in a performance here and really turn around our form. A third defeat in a row would be pretty detrimental at this point, because we'd lose a little bit of that momentum going into the Christmas period where you play a lot of games. So hopefully we can turn that around here going into this game against the mighty Notts County. We'll see how we get on. I'm sticking with our system. There have been a few little tactical changes I've made. I've gone from having retained possession on and got rid of it and put pass into space. I found when we were playing retained possession, we just held on to the ball a little bit too much. Having pass into space kind of encourages us to kind of play a few more ambitious balls, I guess, and try and unlock teams rather than kind of passing and probing and trying to pull teams out of position. Not that I'm necessarily against that, it's just it wasn't really working for us some games. But anyway, first chance here, looks like it's going to fall Notts County's way. That is a fantastic save by the keeper to keep us still in this. Kamalo's taken a knock, but he should be able to shake it off. Hopefully he can. This is probably going to be a very tight game. We are away from home here, and Notts County, as I mentioned, you know, they are theoretically up there with the best teams in the league, given their league positioning. This is not an easy game by any means, but hopefully we can grab something here as the ball comes in. Assombalonga capitalises on a defensive mistake. What a goal, son. 1-0. That's our first shot on target. But we've been clinical there. Leacock, I think it was, with a horrific mistake at the back for Notts County there. A bit of miscommunication between the defence and the attack. Mendes Lane, I'm not sure if he'll be accredited with the assist there, but I am not going to complain one little bit. That is a great goal to kick off this game. That's Assombalonga's 16th goal of the season as well. So he is in some fine goal scoring form for us right now. Maybe we can get another before half time. Mellis, Payne, Friere. Nice little bit of probing play here. Looking to pass into that space. Friere. Mellis, oh, great save by the keeper. Their near post chance came in. I felt sure Mellis was going to grab the goal there. Can't see anything coming from this corner. It's not going to come from this corner, unfortunately. But that's okay. Good start to this game so far. We've created 2 chances. Failed to take one of them, but we are still ahead in this game. We've got our noses in front, and now we're on the attack again. Mendes laying. I probably should score that again. Game's counted as a clear-cut chance, so I've got to raise some question marks there. Mendes laying right wing. He's made some great assists this year without really scoring. It's something I'd like to see him kind of factor into his game, but he is a very kind of traditional winger in terms of he can cross, he can dribble, he can run, and he's quite agile, but he can't really do a lot in the box. But anyway, Leacock for them has just been injured, so they're now playing a kind of makeshift back four. There'll be a player who didn't start the centre-back position there at left centre-back for them. Hopefully we can exploit that a little. To try and factor in for that, I'm actually going to move Assam Belonga onto the right centre-forward position. Let me just check the opposition. Where's the opposition? Jack, there it is. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's their right centre back. Okay, that's fine. So they're playing their second choice left centre back. So I'm sorry, their second choice right centre back. So in kind of factoring in for that, I'm going to just move Assam Belonga onto his shoulder. Maybe he can find a few opportunities that way. Trying to exploit the weaknesses of Bucard, who's kind of their second choice player. Payne here, long ball over the top. Oh, it's another chance. That's 4 clear-cut chances and we've not taken one. This is uncharacteristic lack of clinicalness in our side. It's something that kind of has crept into our game lately. As I mentioned, the game against Fleetwood was the first game where we hadn't scored all season, and against Sheffield United we only scored 1 from about 11 shots. Right now, though, we are still in control of this game, but Mellis is injured. That's a big miss. I'm going to bring in Will Keane. He's still not 100% the young man. I'm going to also move Assam Belonga down the middle, but Keane is a player who I think is capable of coming on and making an impact, even if he's just not quite 100%. Hopefully Mellis isn't out for a long time, though, because, as I mentioned, he has been our kind of big man in the centre of midfield. He's the kind of player who could really do well for us in the Championship in the coming years, and I'm very optimistic of his chances of really... I don't know, been with this team for a long time, so that is a little bit disappointing to see him get injured there. Notts County reverts their normal style of play. Briggs there with the ball. Payne, Keane, through to Assam Belonga. Bury that this time. That's another chance! We cannot bury anything right now. That is 5 clear-cut chances this game, and we are yet to take one. I'm really worried that this might kind of be something we live to regret, because this is a very tight game against a team right up there in the table. I am going to make one change here, I think. And I think I'm going to bring on John Taylor for Mendes laying. I know he got kind of the half-arsed assist in the first half off the kind of defensive flick on. But he's been a little bit disappointed when the chances have come his way. Taylor grabbed a few earlier on when I gave him a chance in the first team. So we'll see if John Taylor can make an impact here. Not long left in this game. Time is slipping away. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but there is a chance here. We need to defend well. We cannot afford to switch off with 8 minutes left on the clock. Keane, with a poor ball there to Payne, but that's a good win. Assam Belonga, Taylor, the sub, cannot do anything with it. I'm a bit nervous here. I'm sticking with control. I don't like switching to defensive to hold on to a game, particularly a game where you've actually been doing better than the other team, regardless. And Assam Belonga... Take that, son. That's a finish that I wanted you to do in the first half, if at all possible. You could have saved me a whole lot of heartache, but he has got a goal there. That's a tidy little finish by the striker. That makes it 2-0. That's his 17th of the season now. Just one long ball over the top. Uses his pace, sucks in the keeper. Tidy little placed finish. Wow, what a result this would be. This was a tough game. 2 defeats on the bounce. This was going to be a test of our players' characters. Could they put in a performance when it truly mattered against a team right up there at the top? Assam Belonga with the Man of the Match award, 8.8 average rating. That was a great result for us, guys. And that will see us develop a little bit of a cushion at the top of the table, which is crucial at this point. So we'll see what the situation is in terms of the table. Hopefully Milton Keynes Dons drop some points. That would be an ideal situation. They did. Excellent. So they drop off. So we have now a 7-point cushion onto Bristol City in third. And we also have a 3-point cushion onto Notts County and goal difference, which is substantially better. We're doing very well right now. I'm a very, very happy bunny. The team is playing superbly. We're gelling really well. Where is their fixtures? Let's take a quick look at this. So in terms of when I'm going to join you guys next time, we have Bristol City at the the beginning of February. I think that'll be the next commentary. I want to do a few bigger gaps, I think, between videos, so that could be a good one to do. We've already played Sheffield United MK Dons. I don't know when the Scunthorpe game is. That's not for a while. I think I'm going to join you guys for the MK Dons game. I think that, the Bristol City game. That is the way to go. And then we also have MK Dons not long after that. And then our last game of the season is Notts County. That works out quite nicely, I think. So yeah, guys, I will join you for the Bristol City game, which is at the beginning of February. Who knows? There may be a few new additions in the side by then. We have got a few quid left in the bank if I want to sign some players. Mellis is out for 4 to 5 months. Oh, God. That's really bad. Right. That's not what I wanted. We'll have to work around that. That might hit us hard. Well, we'll see how we get on. We have got players like Will Keane, who I've now got to ensure remain fit, but that is a tough blow to take. Oh, boy. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here on that slightly low note, I guess. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, smash the like button. It really does help. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, I am in the process of moving house. So if you see kind of videos at a slightly odd times, or there isn't a video for a few days, my apologies. I'm kind of working around a very odd schedule right now. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a comment. Let me know what you made of this episode. Are you disappointed with Mellis? Is there any unsung heroes in this side that you've noticed through the episodes that I maybe haven't? Maybe there's an emerging trend on how I concede goals. Who knows? Maybe you just want to ask something about tactics or just FM in general. Feel free to, down in the comments. Someone will help you out, be it me or another viewer. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate your support. This series has had some great support through the start of it, and long may it continue as hopefully we push on through the division. So, guys, from me, Jack, I am out. I'm rambling now. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.